This time the question gives you the data in a table format. One thing is very important to make sure you know which one is talking about the value of the data, which one is talking about the frequency of that value. That means how often it appears. So they say that there is 0 appear 8 times, 1 appear 13 times. So we use a non-standardized method to present the data every time, no matter it is in bar chart, pie chart, whatever. We try to use the same method as we input the calculator. So this is the value. One of the value is 0. That means some of them answer 0 toy card. The result is 0. And then it appear 8 times. 1 appear 13 times. We use the semicolon here. It is the same symbol as the calculator. 2 appear 14 times. 3 appear 5 times. And the total number here, that means how many times it appear. And the total together mean how many children altogether. So therefore the number of children is equal to 8 plus 13 plus 14 plus 5. We have 40 children here. 8 of them answer 0, 13 of them answer 1, 14 of them answer 2, 5 of them answer 3. So when we ask about the median, mole and SD, the easiest one is the mole. Mole is the most common result. So here we find that the most common result should be 2 because it appears 14 times, while others result appear less than 14 times. So we just simply write down the value is 2. Sometimes we have to write down the units, but this time the value is meaning the number of toy cars, so no units can be written down. And then we are going to find out the median. If you do not realize which one placed in the middle by using this method, then we just try to use the most traditional method, is list out all the data. Just 40 data, don't spend you lots of times. I reserve 40 spaces here and then I try to list out the value one by one, rather than we group them together. So first there are 8 times 0. Appear 8 times and then 1 appear 13 times. Two appear 14 times. And finally, 3 appear 5 times. So if you list out like this, it's easy to find which one placed in the middle. This one is in ascending order already, and then we find that this is the first half while this one is the second half. The middle one is here. We don't find the exact middle data, that's why we try to use the most middle data and add them together to get the average. This is the 20th data and this is the 21st data. So median, we are talking about among 40 data, the most middle one we are talking about 20 data plus 21st data, because we can't find the exact middle one. So we are talking about 1 plus 1 divided by 2 is 1. Of course, if you get used to this, it's not a must for you to list out like this, but this is definitely one of a choice. Maybe a little bit more time consuming, but you're 100% sure what you're doing. Another simplified method is you analyze the data by using a bar. We have 40 children here, that's why we try to separate them to half. 40 divided by 2, then we will find that 20 data in each half. Because this is even number, we don't find the exact middle data, which means that we can use the latest from the first half, which is 20. And then the next one, 21st. Data value to get the median. A similar reason if we get the Q1. So if we want to get Q1, the first quartile, we will further separate the first half into two halves. And then we find that the first part we have 10 and 10. This is the 10th data together with the 11th data. But this time they are not asking about IQR or Q1, Q3, so it's not a must for us to find that out. It's just for your reference. This is 30th data, while this one is 31st data. After that, we are going to find out the standard deviation. For standard deviation, we are going to use mode 4, which is for statistic. So first press mode and then 4 here. You will find there is a little wording SD, which means that you already switched to SD mode. If you want to change it back for other topics, you press mode 1, which is computer mode. Then you will restore to normal. Afterward, we are going to clear out the data, reset the calculator so that it's not affected by the previous data before. We press Shift 9, and then they give you some choice that 1, setup 2, and also all 3. We choose 1. We just remove the stat. Afterward, you have to press Execute. That will show you that you already cleared the data. That means it's ready for you to input the data. When you input the data, we are going to input exactly like this. So first, we are going to input 0 and then semicolon. You can find semicolon here. So 0, shift this button, and then 8 times. You will find you input 0, semicolon 8. And then we are going to input the data by pressing M+. That means I input the data once. After you press it, you will find line equal to 1, which means you finish entering one data. And then we are going to input another group of data. Similar reason, 1 semicolon 13 and then M+. After that, you will find that line is equal to 4. That means you input 4 data, 4 group of data. After the input process, we are going to draw the data we want. If we want to draw the data, you find that SVAR. VAR is something called variance, which is related to SD. So we press Shift 2. Depends on the calculator, this kind of symbol may appear. X bar, which means that the mean. This is the mean. So if you want to get the mean, you may press Shift 2 and then you choose 1. This is the symbol of standard deviation. So this is SD, our target. This is another thing called sample SD. We never use this one. Don't mix up with this. So we just press Shift 2 and then we press 2. Then they will give you the SD here. Then you'll get the answer 0.943398113, and then some other thing at the back. Because it's quite common to ask us about standard deviation, so no matter what kind of graph it is, make sure you rewrite in this format.